A man saw something strange in the snow. When he approached closer, he could not believe his eyes. On a quiet winter morning, a man trudged through the snow, his breath curling in the icy air. But then, something unusual caught his eye, a strange shape half buried in the frost. As he stepped closer, his heart pounded, for what he saw was beyond anything he could have ever imagined. One cold winter evening, Edward was on his way home from work when something unusual caught his eye near a construction site. Curious, he stepped closer to inspect the strange object. His breath hitched as he realized what it was: a tiny kitten, barely moving, its fragile body buried beneath layers of snow and ice. The kitten was frozen to a pipe, unable to stand on its tiny paws. Without hesitation, Edward gently freed the fragile creature, brushing off the snow clinging to its fur. Realizing he couldn't help it alone, he tucked the shivering kitten into the warmth of his jacket, determined to find a way to save its life. Edward rushed straight to the veterinary clinic, hoping he wasn't too late. The veterinarian carefully examined the kitten, which was teetering on the edge of life and death. Though they managed to save it, the severe frostbite had taken its toll. One ear and parts of 3 paws had to be amputated, along with its tail. Leaving the kitten in the care of the clinic, Edward reluctantly headed home, his heart heavy with worry. The next day, the veterinarians called Edward and said that if he didn't pick up the unfortunate creature, they would be forced to give it to a shelter for homeless animals. Edward understood that with amputated limbs, the kitten would have a very hard time in the shelter, so he decided to take it home. Edward named the kitten Hugo and decided to take care of it himself. At first, it was a real challenge because the owner had to carry the pet to the toilet, constantly wash it, and literally teach it to walk again on its amputated limbs. Edward even tried to make real prosthetics for the kitten with the help of a 3D printer. However, they caused Hugo a lot of pain, so he had to give up on the prosthetics. Edward diligently gave Hugo his medications and fed him a special diet to aid in his recovery. Over time, the resilient kitten adapted to his new reality, thriving under the constant care and affection of his devoted owner. Now, despite everything he has been through, Hugo is just like any other house cat, full of life, curiosity, and playfulness. Hugo loves to race around the house, jump, nibble, and playfully scratch. He eats on his own and even uses the litter box, though Edward gently steadies him to prevent any mishaps. Grateful to the man who saved his life in his darkest moment, Hugo has formed an unbreakable bond with his rescuer, showering him with affection every day. Despite the hardships he had endured, Hugo made a remarkable recovery, thanks to the love and care of his devoted owner. Now, he brings joy to everyone around him with his playful spirit, seemingly unaware of any limitations. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.